This is Jewell Loyd. Most of you guys know me as a WNBA champion, an Olympian, college dropout, but let's add storyteller to that list. I'm bringing my amazing community, my experiences to you and everyone across the world. Welcome to the warehouse. Yo, we're back. Welcome, guys, to the warehouse. This is obviously my guy, Danny. You guys should or clearly maybe kind of know me. I'm Jewell. We are back. It's been a great week. I'm excited for this episode just because it's something that's not really talked about a lot. Obviously, I have a lot of stories about it, but I didn't really live a normal life in terms of just life in general, of just being an athlete, having eyes on me early, all these things. I feel like we should just dive into that and talk about it. And there's a lot of things that come about it. The norms, the not normal lifestyle, the expectations, the haters, the doubters, the supporters, whatever you want to call it. But, make sure you guys like and subscribe to The Warehouse. This has been a crazy, awesome journey to our podcast life. So thank you for that. But let's get into it, Danny.
Definitely.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you've done just about everything, I feel like. And I like when I say that, guys, when I really say that, is because Jewell has her hands in a lot of different things. Especially not just basketball too. Like, obviously we know about the tennis background, we know about the business background, and now we're starting to learn more about the ownership background too. Like, and the expectations and realities of that too. So like, take us through a little bit of what you're doing with the Miami Pickleball Club. Because not a lot of people, some people know, some people don't know.
Yeah.
Let them know, Jewell.
I think the whole understanding of like being an entrepreneur, something I've kind of always wanted to do since I was little. I think we talked about this before. Like, there's been more memories of me like pretending to be like a store owner or a CEO or whatever growing up than me like hooping or like pretending to be whatever, a basketball player or a tennis star. It was like, no, I would like go into my mom's office, like pretend that I'm like typing, all these things. And I just had this curiosity of like how to just be, I don't know, an owner. Right. And maybe it's all the movies too that we watch, like we talk about all the time, but just understanding, like, I thought that was so freaking cool. So getting into ownership is something that I'm so passionate about. One, because, for our family, being, a young Black woman in America owning stuff, held some weight, and being a first generation family, that to be able to do that for me and my brother, it's really cool. And so starting the family office allowed us to get into more ownership spaces and conversations and open a lot more doors for us too. So I really got into pickleball because I came home one time, it might have been like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we were waiting to go hoop at Lifetime. And so I haven't been back. So I go back. I'm like, yo, they took the 2 courts out. Like, there's only 1 basketball court. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they added the pickleball course. I'm like, all right. So I'm waiting to get on to play, 5-on-5 next. I'm like, yo, I'm just want to go over here, like, get warmed up so we're not stiff. Me and my friend, we go and play like these old women. Like, respectfully, like, I need you to know that they're old because like it makes the story that much better, right? So they're easy, like, 75, 80. I'm not even kidding. And we're like, okay, like, let's play them. They just destroy us, bro. Like, we get smoked. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy right now. Like, we're getting like, I think it was like 11-5, 11-3. I'm like, this is bad. Like, don't tell anyone about this. And so now, like, us being the competitors, we're like, all right, we got to run this back. And so, we go let our anger out on the basketball court, come back the next day and play. So now I'm playing like every day. So now we're just going at it. And obviously we're getting better and better. And, we had to run it back and eventually we beat them. We had to make a move, but we also had to like learn how to like the rules of pickleball and like all these things. And so I was just fascinated that like I walk in and like to see so many different ages, to see like their joy and all these things about this game that like no one really knew about till after COVID, really, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, there has to be more. And so now I ended up meeting some other guy. His name is Nate Parsons. He's like a big, he actually has a great business in Chicago called Home Court. And so I ended up meeting him. He's like into the pickleball space and he's like, hey, come over, like have a private court, like let's hit with some guys, like get better. I'm like, brand new at this. I'm not great. I'm obviously an athlete, so I kind of make up for all the other stuff. But I walk in, I'm seeing these, these guys are like, just like tennis players. And I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Like I have no idea what's going on. And they're like, oh yeah, these are professional pickleball players. I was like, what? Like, this professional pickleball? Like, I had no idea. Like, I was really ignorant about everything. And so I ended up hitting with Hunter and Yates Johnson, and these guys they played tennis and they moved over to pickleball, and now they're, currently right now, like they're phenomenal pickleball, and Hunter's taking off, and these guys are really the top pickleball players in the world. And so I'm playing with these guys like randomly, and so they're teaching me certain things, I'm picking up on things, and now we're friends, and it was like really cool. And so there's, I go and play a tournament and all these things. People are like freaking out, like, you met Hunter and Yates, like, oh my God. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, these are just like random dudes I just became friends with like last week. And so understanding and going to a pickleball tournament and like seeing everything, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like these courts, it's like, 1,000 people playing in like 50 courts, and it's like, phenomenal. And so I'm like, you know what? Is there a pickleball league? Is there something like I could like invest in? Because like I understand the sport, I have a tennis background, I understand the business model, I know people in it, like how can we grow this thing? And then all of a sudden I got introduced to the guys in Miami, and I'm like, well, Miami is a destination that a lot of people want to go to. It's great for marketing, I love the colors, Miami Vice, it's kind of that vibe, which is always fire. And, they're good people. So I got involved into that ownership group, and it's been really cool. Like Naomi Osaka is a part of that. Nick Kyrgios is part of that as well. Myself and some other people. But yeah, it's like, I'm like, that three right there is pretty solid. But I just thought it was like a good way to diversify my portfolio, but also just like, I love sports. I love taking risks. I love, a lot of startups. And in reality, pickleball as a startup company, it's a startup brand. And so at the time it made sense, and it still makes sense now. And I'm just like, I love it, bro. Like I go play as much as I can. Like I'm watching it. I'm on TV, pickleball TV. I'm like locked in. Like Nino's is sending me clips. I'm sending like Volva, who's my pickleball partner. Like we're like always sending each other highlights. Like, it's definitely something that, if I wasn't a WNBA player in season trying to go win a championship, I probably would go and put all my time into pickleball and try to do something there. But that's definitely something that's but you have a pretty good connection with pickleball too. Like let the people know. You're trying to be quiet about it. But
Stop it. I gotta go under the radar, man. I'm an under the radar kind of guy, I feel like. But with me with pickleball, first of all, I have maybe played pickleball like 2 times in my life. I got invited, and I work with a company called Perimeter. We do a lot of branding, marketing agency, stuff like that. So I get hit up one day by the founder. His name is Ben. He's one of my good friends. He hits me up and he goes, "Hey, you want to work on a special project for me?" And I go, "Yeah, for sure. Like I'll do that. What's up?" He's like, "It's sports related. You're building a team and you're gonna help out that." I'm like, "Okay, so what's the situation?" And he goes, "It's pickleball." I'm like, "Okay, cool, different. I'll do it." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Get this." He's like, "Expansion team." I'm like, "Cool." He's like, "They need an identity. They need a logo. They need a name, everything." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Think it's in Vegas." I'm like, "Okay, Vegas is dope. Like, my favorite football teams play Vegas. I like it, whatever." He's like, "And the owner," and he's like, "And the owner and the investor of this team is Tom Brady." I go, "Wait, whoa, what?" He goes, "Oh, it's Tom Brady." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we get through that, and I'm like, I'm over here freaking out. You know what I mean? I'm doing a project for the GOAT. And every day I got a notebook like this thick and literally fill with names. I'm like, "Okay, what about this? How does this look? How does this look? Is this okay? Okay, does this sound good?" I got about 45 to 50 names. We cut down that list. We presented to their group. They, throughout those 40 names, it got down to 20. The 20 went down to 10. And then I'm like, okay. And a couple of the names that I picked out were still on that list. And then 10 became 5. 5 became 3. And in those 3, 2 out of those 3 are the names I picked. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, hopefully they pick the name I, chose. And they're like, okay, we're going to go through it. So long story short, I'm I basically helped name and named Tom Brady's pickleball team, which is the Las Vegas Night Owls, who happens to play the Miami PC. So me and Jewell got a little rivalry going on here.
Got a little beef.
A little beef. So like when they play, it's like, what's up, Hopefully we can take a couple sets and go from there. I don't know too much about pickleball like how Jewell does, but when they win, it's a cool thing. But being a part of that experience was amazing. And I think it's such a growing sport. And from what started off as, like you said, Lifetime Fitnesses, they shut down a whole gym, make it into a pickleball
Yep.
court, and now all of a sudden we're doing stuff for pros. It's just an unbelievable thing.
It's crazy, bro. Like, I mean, so my family came up, Jared and his family came up to Chicago, and we all played. So like our whole family plays.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, so and like Jared, like we're just competitive as hell. So like anything that we could possibly play together as a collective, like we're gonna do. So we walk in, and Josiah and Sarai, they're at the time like 8 and 6. So they're little, so they're walking in and be
And
like,
this
hey,
is your
like, we're gonna
nephew, and
play.
these are your brother's kids, right? Your nephew and niece.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
nephew, niece, and so we're playing, and we were playing at first. It's just us, our family, cool. So like people come in and like, oh, like we want to play. Like, can we check the course? Like, yeah, sure. And so we're like, well, I'll play with Sarai, and like this guy, he's like, I'm like, Josiah's next. And he's looking at Josiah. He's little, whatever. He's like, are you sure you want this kid to play? Like, we're trying to have a serious game. I was like, okay, I'll take Josiah, and then you take whoever. He's like, all right, like that's fine. Like we're trying to like move this game quickly, and we don't really want kids, but we'll let them
Okay.
play. I was like, all right. I'm like, Josiah, like you ready? He's like, he's like turning his racket. He's like he's like locked in. When I tell you, Josiah was killing this guy, like just like aiming at him the whole time, just like going at him. He's like, man, who is this kid? Like, where did he come from? I'm like, yeah, like you were talking all that smack, and now he's giving you the business, bro. Like, have
Yeah.
some respect, So it's like so cool that like, never in a million years would you have like an 8-year-old, beat, a 30-year-old who's talking smack, who's like athletic,
Wow.
but like it just didn't matter. And I think that's like the cool thing about pickleball. Like, it really doesn't matter your age. It's just your skill level, right? Like, it's just like obviously, like, yes, age, they have different categories for certain age levels, but like, it was like so cool to see my nephew just go back and forth with my niece, like, they're the youngest kids out there, like so confident, and they've been able to just hit with these people and like win. So then the next day they leave to go back to Minnesota, and the guy comes, he's like, hey, where's that kid Josiah? Is he here today, bro? Like, I'm like, no, he left. Like, he's like looking for him. Like, hey, let's run that shit back. It's like those moments is really cool. And I think that kind of brings like the, I don't know, the rec, but also the, I don't know, inviting spirit of pickleball. Like, they really are really inclusive with everyone and everything, and they just want competitive games. Everyone I've ever talked to, they just want competitive games, and it's fun, and so it's really cool to kind of have that dynamic.
Yeah, and I always see you like, playing in tournaments, going to different places to actually play a tournament. Like, how do you get on that circuit? Is it just because like you're part of the PC and they're like, hey, like let's just get Jewell on, or you actually like sign up for a tournament and like go through there?
Yeah, so I based on my winning percentage so far in the pickleball world, I was able
What's
to
your
get
record, Jewell? What's your record?
bro. So this was crazy. So my first tournament, like, never played before. I went down to where did I go? Down to Florida. First tournament, I qualified. I got a golden ticket, which is basically like a pass for like nationals. Okay, I've never played before. Something like I won I literally lost my first match. Got smoked. I was so nervous. I was like airmailing like everything, just hitting home runs. It was crazy. I was playing baseball, and I had to like win out through the consolation bracket back to the championship bracket. So I was playing like 8 games, bro. I could have, like, if I just won the first 3, I would have been it was crazy. And so got there, won a golden ticket first time, like, and I'm just like, this is cool, like, this is great. And so based off that, and then Volvo and I went to I think Wisconsin. No, I lied. It was Miami. We won to Miami, and we won there. I won, got second, and then we won our doubles. And so we were kind of like getting to a hot start, to be honest. And based off that, I got a great partnership with Yola. They do my paddles, and they're a great company. They always support, which is really cool. So a lot of people don't know that I'm actually sponsored by a pickleball company, Yola, and it's been really cool. Like, to see that and to help grow the game, but also, give back, do camps with them, and like we're putting on a lot of stuff, pickleball and basketball camps. It's been really, really sweet. But yeah, you basically just sign up, bro. Like, you sign up, like, should we do this? And so based on like your duper score, and also they do like another rating. And so based off like what that rating is, like, you could be like a 5.5, you could be 5.0. And so you'll sign up for that level, for that tournament, and then you play. So it's pretty simple, honestly. Like, anyone who really could wants to play, you sign up and play. But it, Volva has really encouraged me more. I mean, he was also my hitting partner growing up in tennis. He's like legit. Like I always tell him like you need to go like be in the pro bracket because like you're like next level, like you're unreal. His forehand is like unreal. But yeah, I just sign up and play, bro. Like if I'm open and available, like I just go and just qualify and just try to not stand out too much, wearing basketball shorts and like a t-shirt, but I make it happen, bro. It's super fun. And
Yeah.
like a lot of places are cool destinations. Like
Yeah.
they're cool spots. So I'm like for a weekend, like I go to like, whatever it is, where it's like Mesa, Florida, California. I mean, though, Wisconsin is okay. Like there's some
Yeah.
qualifying, but the Midwest, but a lot of times like you go to warm places, but yeah, bro, like it's just sign up and go play.
Have you ever thought about playing for the PC? Is that possible for you or no?
I mean, I would, but I'm in season. Like if I wasn't
Oh,
a
so
WNBA
it
star,
correlates. Yeah, so it correlates with
yeah,
the okay.
yeah. So like their league is during our season. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't. But like I said, who knows, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, uh, to be back out there. But as long as my body's good, I'm doing something, playing softball leagues, football leagues. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like somewhere doing
Yeah.
something active once basketball's done for sure.
No, totally. Totally. Is it almost like is that circuit almost like the AAU circuit too? Like for the exposure? Because obviously before, I mean, everyone's putting stuff on Instagram now, everyone's putting stuff
Yeah.
on TikTok or whatnot, but like getting into this circuit, like you still need notoriety. You still need to get it. Is it kind of like that old school AAU circuit where like, yo, that guy's, like the Skyrim report comes out, like that guy's ranked number one? Is it kind of like
Yeah,
that, or
like
is it a little bit different?
it's so I think the biggest shift um for pickleball in general. So like there's two leagues, and the thing that they're trying to do is really make it cool. Like it still has a tennis persona, like a tennis identity. Where you go to certain tournaments and people like be quiet. I'm like you're outside playing pickleball, bro. Like we could clap a little bit. Like I had like
Yeah.
Monte and the guys watch us one time. We are playing a tournament, and like I scored, and like yeah, like they're like violation. I'm like, how's that a
What?
violation? Like they're cheering, like it's like it's really
What?
yeah. So like I think for the sport to really kind of get to where it's not just like AAU vibes, it's like you gotta let it be a sport. You gotta let people and fans like engage and all these things, and you know the highlights. I think they do a really good job of actually posting a lot of the cool highlights, and promoting players. But a lot of the times, it is like the amateur players that are, the where the market really is. It's like you have these kids coming out of nowhere that are so freaking good, and they're just growing the sport and they're making it cool. But at the same time, like if I was it's kind of like when we play basketball and like some random YouTube person posts something like, "Bro, how good are you? Like, you actually doing it for TikTok? Or are you actually a hooper? Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? I think
Yeah.
that's also like the trend with pickleball too. It's like you have all these influencers that are posting stuff. It's like, are you really like about this life, or are you just out here just like editing videos? So I think that's like the balance. But you definitely need that social media presence to promote and to do all those things. Like it's same thing like AAU, right? There's a lot of videos out there that make kids look really really good, and then you get them in like a normal 5-on-5 setting, and you're like, wow, you can't go left. Or like, wow, like you're really
Yeah.
slower than I thought you were. Like that was a fast forward video. Like, like you kind of had that mindset. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you use it properly, correctly, it definitely could grow the sport, business, whatever that is. But people are getting smart now, man. AI is no
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah. No, definitely. And then when it comes to like the game itself, when it comes to pickleball, are you gonna be involved more with the PC? I know you're part owner and everything, but are you gonna be more hands on once the season's over? Like, do you have anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to our guy down there, Jamie. I'm in constant like contact with them, emails with them, see how everything's going. Like, I wish I was able to go to more games, but like I said, it's during our season. But as much as I try, I really try to watch, promote, post as much as I can. Reach out to our players too. Like, I'm trying to make sure that everything I do is genuine, because I really do care about the business. And obviously, you want it to grow, you want it to promote all these things. Like, it's something that I'm very interested in and care about. So there's definitely a motive there. But if anything, I always tell them anything I could do to help, promote it, help it, grow it. camps, whatever. Like that's why I really got involved. I thought it was just so awesome. Another way to kids and people in general active, and that just makes sense for me. So I was like, yeah, we'll see where it goes. So I'm always getting like constant updates. I'm like, no, tell me more. Like, how are we doing? Like, what's going on? What do we need? Like, that's kind of just the mindset of me, as being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your expectations like going into that? Like, what were your true expectations going into that kind of stuff?
I honestly just to grow the sport. Like I love startup companies. I love to, do something that's quote unquote not normal. I don't know how many people would have done it and do it. I don't know how many WNBA players now are investing in pickleball and like actually playing and trying to learn the business. But also just I love diversifying my portfolio, man. Like I'm in a lot of stuff, and I've kind of always been like that since like, I was a kid. Like try this, see how it works. Like how to grow a business, how to start this, like how to get people to invest. Like I've always kind of been that person. And you always tell me like if I was in real estate, like I would be like selling everything. Like you always kind of say that to me. And so like, I've always kind of had that mindset, just like how can we grow something and like leave something. I think it's really cool. And it just made sense. Like it wasn't like, hey, I need to put up $50 million to be a part of this either. It's like it wasn't a high risk thing. It made sense for me at the time, and it still makes sense for me now.
Once it's all said and done for you, Jewell, are you trying to pivot and maybe go into front offices for basketball? Are you trying to do the same thing for basketball as you're doing for pickleball? Can you see yourself getting into ownership?
I can see myself getting into ownership, but like it's a toss up because I think if I'm gonna run something like fully hands on and something a league or a team in a different capacity, like I want to make sure like I'm running it, that I'm hands on, but I also don't I like my freedom, so I need to find a job or something in capacity where I'm able to still have my life and not be told what to do. Sounds like, but when you have a lifestyle like how athletes are, but you're I've always kind of been your own boss, and you do this and do this. And yes, you work for someone and things like that, but you're not used to a normal schedule. I don't want a normal schedule. And so working with like Miami Pickleball allows me to have my normal schedule that I like, but also being able to work. And also too, like I said, I think, the way that basketball is going, I think maybe that the shift of sports is going to be different too. There's going to be a different scope of maybe leagues. I think we're seeing obviously on Rival, we have Big Three, we have other things that kind of coming up that are just different narrative of sports for people who like certain type of basketball, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I guess I could see myself definitely being in some kind of ownership role. 'Cause I do like to build things, but I also, I've been part of the game for so long. Sometimes it's like you kind of need like
a reset?
Step away a little bit. Yeah, like I don't know, like things are changing so much, and it takes a lot of time too. I think people don't understand that too. Like to really build something up and make it great, it takes a lot of time. And so if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be a part of some organization that you're really, really building. That beats my ethos. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been building stuff since I was little and seeing where it goes, and you never know. Like I'm always willing to try stuff. We'll see.
But what would you want to, I know you just mentioned like it's going to my ethos to you. So what's important to Jewell? So what would that be something that you would want to build? Because you're into startups, whether it be in any kind of industry, or is it something you have a creative idea that you want to build up? So what would it be?
I don't know. Like I think if I look at all the businesses that I'm in now and involved in, I think a lot of them have to do with services, with people. And so when I'm trying to build something, like for me, like it has to be bigger than just the money. Because if I took $1 right now, not even, I took $100 and showed you, it'd be like, damn, that's $100. But if I rip that $100, it's absolutely nothing. It means nothing anymore. Like it's shredded. So like if I'm gonna do all this great work for that within one tear it means nothing, then what am I really doing stuff for? Right? Like you use the money as tools, you use the access, you use technology as tools to, further your knowledge or education, or further ways to just make people and environments better. So if I'm going to build a company, build something that can evolve with anything, like I always want to make sure that what are we doing it for and our why? Because it can't be just for money. Mind you, we need money. Like that's we understand. We need that. We understand. Yeah, it's a tool. It's a tool. Yeah. But it can't be what it's all about. Like it has to be about, okay, are we leaving knowledge back? Like even this podcast, like this podcast is it's awesome. And reminder, like and subscribe to the warehouse. We definitely appreciate it, all the love. But even with this, like to me, these are like open diaries for like our kids and our family. Like
Mhm.
your daughter is gonna be able to look at this and be like, "Oh, that's my dad. Like he's talking
Yeah.
about X, Y, Z." Like she's gonna be able to learn from this, right? So like, it's not necessarily, oh, we're gonna be, the #1 podcast in the world. Like, yes, we have aspirations and goals, and we believe that we could
Yeah.
really do that. I believe that we could really share stories and give back and all these things. But I feel like that's more important to me than anything else. So
Yeah.
whatever I
Definitely.
try to do, it's like that's like more important because like think about it, like people are still talking about Jesus and his stories. Like people are still talking
That's
about,
true.
Buddha, like, like all
Yeah.
the like, Mother Teresa. It's like, yeah, the people are like word of mouth are still telling these stories like years and years, later. So is it those stories aren't talking about money.
Yeah.
Everything
No,
that these
100%.
great philosophers are talking about is like life. So it's like that's
Yeah.
what's getting passed down. And yes, like I said, money's a tool, and that gets passed down too. You're leaving accessibility and all these things and capital gain for your family to kind of keep it going. But if it's not about that, then what are we actually
Yeah.
really doing, bro? Like, because honestly, if you do
100%.
things the right, if you do the things the right way, like the money's gonna come. It's like in basketball, like you do things the right way, like everything, the wins will come. But if you're not doing things the right way, like then why are you expecting to be X, Y, Z?
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I always thought. Like I'm
Mhm.
gonna do things the right way. Like I'm gonna try to find people who understand,
Yeah.
why like the whys are bigger than the dollar signs, and then based on that, like and that's just my strategy.
No,
That's not my strategy. Like
no,
but
100%.
I feel like the strategy's been working pretty good, and people in my life are happy, and I'm at peace and everything. I don't go to sleep like guilty as hell. Like I feel like I'm good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep
Yeah.
we're gonna keep moving the way we
No,
move. Like I don't know.
100%. 100%.
Like
And I think, like, as you just mentioned, if you don't have the passion or fire for it, then what are you doing it for? Like, if someone wants to be a doctor, they're not doing it so they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, then people are going to be suffering. They do it because they want to care for, treat, and help people. You know what I mean?
for
So it
sure.
kind of works in that kind of way, right?
Yeah, it has to, bro. Like it just has to. Like I just like yeah. You obviously want to make money. You have to make money because when you own a business, like now you got to pay your employees, you got to do all these things, expenses, whatever. But the impact is way bigger. And it's funny because I remember, like, did you ever like sell chocolate like 8th grade, like those little
Uh,
chocolate bars?
yeah, I know what you mean. The little stick ones are like
Yeah, little
skinny.
stick ones, like in
Yeah.
like little yeah. So
Little
I
box, a
remember
white
like
box. Yeah.
white box. So I remember like, all right, like my mom used to hate when those things came in. She's like, bro, like, let me just write the check. Like, you're not out here selling this stuff. Like, she was just like, we're not doing like any
Yeah.
like baked goods. Like, so she's like, nah, bro, like, we're just gonna donate money. I'm not doing that. So I remember, so this box came in. So like, my mom wrote the check. She's like, here, like, all right, cool. So now the box is paid for, right? So now I'm like, I have a box of candy, like, or a box of chocolates. What do I do? And I remember going to the gas station. I'm like, I'm gonna sell these things. I'm gonna make money, profit for myself, and see what I can do with it. And I remember like being out there, and everyone's like, and me and my friend was like, we're gonna go to the store, we're gonna go to the gas station, we're gonna sell these chocolates. And so he's out there like, selling chocolate for $1, and I'm just like, there has to be something else, bro, like that we could help with and do and say to like understand people's like empathy, right? Like how could I empathize with these people who coming into the gas station? Obviously we're kids, so I'm just looking at it, like, oh, these little cute kids, like they go to school in Lincoln Hall, like, and so at the time, like Hurricane Katrina was like just happened. It was like a big thing on the news and all these things. So I was like, I'm gonna understand that. I understand what's going on in the market. I understand how these people are like trying to find ways to help. So instead of me saying I'm gonna sell chocolate, I'm like, hey, like I'm looking for like, money and donations to help people in Hurricane Katrina, which is fairly true. Like I'm not saying I didn't
Yeah.
use that for clout and just like took the money for myself and like
Yeah.
now I have like bags of chips at home and
Yeah.
Scooby Doo's like like snacks and shit. But like I'm like you gotta find
No.
you
No,
gotta
I know
find a
what you
way
mean.
to connect to people. Like and I think I understood that early on. Like you gotta find ways to connect with people and make it more than just about the chocolates or the money. And so he's out there selling his like he's struggling on the other side. On this side, I sold out in like 20 minutes. And mind you, on top of the money that I got for that, people were literally giving me hundreds, like writing me checks, like, please here, like, what do I fill this out to? I'm like, actually, I didn't get that far because I'm still 8th grade,
Yeah.
but I'm like
Yeah.
trying to figure this out. I'm like, I don't know. But by the time I got home, like, my mom was like, where'd you get all this money from? I'm like, well, I got it from, here. And like, can we actually, like, where do we go to donate this money to? And it's like, I had enough to make profit that I needed for myself, like, but also so much more to give back. So like that was like, whoa, like if you actually find a connection with people and find the whys, like the impact is way greater than just like, hey, I'd have a box of chocolate. Okay, like come on, like just trying to get it done. And so learning that early on allowed me to like understand, like when I go and buy stuff, when I go and talk to business owners and people come to me like, hey, do you want to invest in this? I'm like, all right, like what's our why? Like that's so
Yeah.
important. But then anything, I'm like, if it happens, if I learned that in 8th grade, like, what else can I do? And I've always kind of taken that with me in everything I've ever done. It's like, all right, it has to be more. There has to be something that we can connect on as humans, because when you connect with humans on a different level where you're like so vulnerable and your ethos match, like, bro, you could really, in my
Yeah.
eyes, like really change the world. And so it was just like really cool to be like, yeah, like, and also I beat you, like, I also beat you selling chocolates, but I also had a bigger impact,
Yeah.
on this side. So it was pretty cool.
If you reap what you sow, basically what it is.
Yeah.
Right, right. So your true passion is doing this. It's gonna come out with a positive outcome. If you're doing it for the wrong thing, it's not gonna work. So I think
Yeah.
you're hitting it right on the head there. And you can connect that with all parts of life. That's the craziest part about it. Even when it comes to the basketball court too, like how you
Yeah.
mentioned.
No, for sure, bro. Like it all like comes back around. It's just like it's just different, but it's wild, and it's the life we live. I think we kind of talked about a little bit, but like the whole AAU life and the expectations of kids now, what like how good they have to be, and what they have to do to be NIL student athlete or whatever you want. I don't even want to call it a student athlete, but
Yeah.
there's so much that growing up, that if you're not locked in on like your goals early on, which is crazy for like an 8th grader or
Yeah.
6th graders, freaking 4th graders are getting ranked right now. Like it's tough, but I think like it starts early, bro. It starts fucking early,
Yeah.
and
The
it's
pressure definitely does.
crazy. Like the expectation of these kids now, I'm like, I don't know. Like the
Yeah.
man upstairs knew not to make sure we were born in like the 90s for a reason. Because I
Yeah.
don't know if I could be born like in the 2000s right now. Because this is
Yeah.
a whole different world, bro.
100%. The expectations and realities are crazy. Like you expect your kid just because he's a ranked 5th grader. You don't know how that kid's gonna grow literally and develop as an adult or even a teen, in a couple
Oh my
years.
gosh.
You know what I mean? And the reality check is, oh, well, yeah, he was, this height in 5th grade. This kid's gonna be a center, but then that kid had his growth stunt instead of a growth
Yeah.
spurt, and now all of a sudden he's playing. He's not even a 6-foot guard. You know what I mean? It's, things happen. You know?
Things happen. It's so crazy. And like even just like how they're like, how they dressing, what they're posting, like how they're walking. It's just like, dude, go be a kid, man. Like go like play in the mud. I don't know. Like go get
Yeah.
gum stuck in your hair. Like, it's
Yeah.
like it's not always about just like, but now it's like if you are not up on your brand and all these things, like I look at my niece and nephew, like he's really good at basketball. He's really good at baseball. And it's like he doesn't have an Instagram. Like he doesn't have a highlight reel. Like I'm like, half of me is like, is this a problem? Like,
Yeah.
do we need to start recording him? But I'm like, look how like he's having so much fun right now. He's not caring about any of that, So I'm like, it's like a balance. I'm like, man, like, do we like secretly record him?
It's
Like,
like yin and
it's like
yang. It's yin and yang. It's catch 22 right there.
it's so wild, bro. Like I low key remember in high school, so I was getting like letters pretty early. Yeah, so I remember getting these letters early, and I played on a really good AU team, so they were like, everyone's sending letters to the team and all these things. I'm learning on, I don't really know anything. I'm just really the youngest on this team, and I remember like we had some guy come in and it's like, hey guys, like, you guys got to be really cautious with what you post on social media. College coaches and and at this time I'm 13 years old. Okay, I'm going to so many bar and bat mitzvahs. It's like crazy. Like this is a crazy year. Like every weekend it's like a party, right? And so, mind you,
Uh,
I'm like getting like hammered. Like this guy's like, do not post anything. Like you guys partying. Don't do this. Like they're not gonna recruit you if they think you're a party animal. Like you're not focused on basketball. I'm 13. Okay, like I said, going to all these parties, these bar and bat mitzvahs, like the rites of patches of life.
yeah.
And I remember going on my Facebook, right? And I'm seeing this with like Welch's like grape juice, like how they're in like the bottle, right?
Yeah.
I'm like deleting all these pictures, like, oh my god, I'm not gonna get recruited. Deleting all these like classic pictures of like all my friends at the bar mitzvah, like he's reading the Torah. I'm like delete, like I'm just like going like they can't see me out. Like I shouldn't have to worry. Like it's like, bro, like I'm 13 years old. I'm drinking Welch's the grape juice, and you're making me panic because you're like, yeah, no one's gonna recruit you. It's like that fear and that panic is crazy. And like I feel like a lot of kids now are like, what do I do? Like, can I live? Can I chew some gum? Do I like, it's like, what do you do? And it's like, dude, at some point you're still gonna be a kid. You're still gonna be human. Like people are gonna mess up all the time. Like you're even in college, like these
Yeah.
like you have to be allowed to make mistakes. And that's the only way that you're gonna get better at anything is making mistakes. And so it's kind of like we're telling these kids like don't make any mistakes. Like don't learn. Like
Yeah.
it's like
We're almost training kids to become robots.
yeah, bro.
Especially, okay, we were talking about the basketball world. Like, everything's got to be a dribble, tween, step back. Otherwise, there's no creativity. You know what I mean? In kids
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Like, when we used to play pickup or anything, you would try moves and be creative with it. Like, now everyone's
Yeah.
like trying to get trained a certain way. And then, like, even now, in a social setting, you have to dress a certain way. Otherwise, you will get clowned on or whatever it is. And it's like, we're training kids to be robots. It's terrible.
Yeah. And it's wild. And it's just like at one point, like I tell like my friends, everyone, I'm like, I never want to lose the kid in me ever. Like I want the kid in me to always come out. And if someone says, hey, you're being childish, I'm like, thank you. Like, please. Like I'm being a kid today. Yes. Because like kids are just, when they're younger, like they're so curious. They really don't care. They play, like they think outside the box or they thinking of like imagination, like SpongeBob, it's like all these things, you're constantly just like learning and trying new things. And at some point, like we forget about that. We forget that we were able to do that and try new experiences and experience it with your friends. And, and I think that plays a lot of like a big role in just in like your next steps and how you think about life and how you think about your businesses, experiences. And if you should go invest in this and she go learn about crypto, it's like, if you're just thinking like, I can't, cause I got to be perfect. I can't, cause I have to do certain things. You're missing the bigger, the why of life. It's like, we have all this stuff, but don't put yourself in a box, and don't limit yourself. And, I try to do that as much as I can, with everything I do. It's like, if I can, reach for the stars, like go for it. Like I'll figure out how to fly later, it's like, but if I never do that, like, it's just not like, why? Like, it's,
no, 100%.
We just have too much in this world to like be reserved, like there's always, if there's a will, there's a way, like I always kind of like believe that. I don't know.
No, definitely.
Going on a rant, but it's fine.
No, no, it's good. No, but those are going to be those are key, like steps, key things in life that you're going to have to learn. These are key milestones and you're learning and the learning curve is huge, from 16 to 18 is big. From 18 to 21 is huge. And then from 21 to 25, you're like, am I an adult yet? Nah, not really. Then 25 to 30 hits, and then you're like, I kind of am an adult. So it's like, it just keeps going and going. Then eventually you're going to, hopefully what kind of potential you want to reach or whatever it is. So go from there.
No. Yeah, for sure. It's like you're still 30 and you're like still calling your mom like, Mom, what's our dentist? Like, what's his name again? Like it's like you're always gonna be like, hey, Mom, wait, what's that?
How many pills do I have to take on the Tylenol again?
Your facts, like, what is this? Where's the Robitussin? Like, you're just like freaking out. Oh no, man, 100%. No, man. I just, yeah. For the people, watching, we appreciate it. Like and subscribe. It's just been so cool to just come out here and just talk and share so much like knowledge that we think we have, right? To people. But we're staying locked in here in the warehouse. Everything that you hear on this show is full honesty. It's just us being open and vulnerable with you guys. We just appreciate it. And Danny, like, if I don't tell you enough, I respect you. I appreciate you, man. Like,
oh, come on,
you've done so far. Like, no,
come on, cuz.
I gotta praise you in private and public, my guy. Like, I have to. But no, I appreciate it, bro. We gotta run this back, and the warehouse is just different, bro. It's just different.
It's just different out here. Make sure y'all like and subscribe.